Welcome back, everyone. He has spent 2 decades in politics, earning a reputation as a firebrand politician with a controversial political record and a rocky personal life. But Newt Gingrich's supporters say the former House Speaker has turned a new leaf. Our political panel is here now. Mark Meckler is co-founder of Tea Party Patriots. Todd Buchholz, former White House economic advisor and author of Rush, Why You Need and Love the Rat Race. And Tara Dowdell is a former aide to New Jersey Governor Jim McGreevey and a political strategist. Good morning to all three of you.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, let me start down at the end. A co-founder of Tea Party Patriots. Mark, I would assume that maybe you would be on the outside of the GOP establishment and you might like the new Newt Gingrich. Is there such a thing as a new Newt Gingrich?
I think that's the best question you could ask, and I don't think there is. I mean, he has a long history, and his behavior today is consistent with that long history. And I think folks are paying more attention to that history than ever before, and I think Newt, better than anybody else, would understand that.
All right, so why is it different with the voters? I want you to look at these two polls. So these are GOP primary voters. 40%. He's broken the threshold of 40% now. They like Gingrich. Then you drop down to 23% for Romney, 9% for Paul, et cetera. Now, you compare that to the general electorate. Romney does better against Obama, 45 to Obama's 47%. And look at Newt Gingrich. He slips down to 40, and Obama beats him 51 to 40. So my question to you, Todd, is why does the general electorate like Romney and the primary voters like Newt Gingrich?
Because with Newt Gingrich, look, it's 16 past the hour. It's just a matter of time before he says something dumb or reckless. The one thing that hasn't changed is that Newt Gingrich is a great target for Democrats to attack. They will portray him as a symbol of the federal government. They'll say he's big, he's out of control, he's fat, and he's out of touch. And that's exactly how he can be portrayed. And I think Republican primary voters ought to be very concerned about that.
It's
much more difficult to target Romney.
Why do they like him? And by the way, he's been in all these debates, and he really hasn't had
He's an interesting guy.
Yet.
He's an innovative guy. Look, we live in an era of reality television where interesting performers on reality shows rise to the top before they're pricked and before they blow up. Well, Republicans shouldn't want that kind of candidate.
Tara, do you agree with that this is all just a reality TV phenomenon, that's why Newt Gingrich is on top of the polls right now?
I will give it to Newt Gingrich. He's a very good debater, and so he's had a strong showing in the various debates. But the reality is, as Todd said, Democrats, it would be easier for us to attack Newt Gingrich, not because we could portray him as an establishment, as part of the problem, but because he is part of the problem. Newt Gingrich is the quintessential politics for profit politician. And that's his biggest issue. Forget the personal issues, put that aside. It's the ethical issues. It's the lobbying for Freddie Mac. It's all of those things that make him very much part of what Americans are tired of. He portrays what's wrong with the system.
What Republicans ought to be more concerned about is Newt Gingrich is the guy who sat closer to Nancy Pelosi than I'm sitting next to Tara. Newt Gingrich is the guy who admitted, quote, I melt when I'm in Bill Clinton's presence and I need 2 hours to detoxify. I'm worried about a guy who melts in the face of charming Democrats, because Barack Obama is a charming Democrat.
And yet we live in an era where nothing gets done on Capitol Hill because there is no such thing as bipartisanship anymore. So, I don't know, maybe some people would like that. Mark, my question, though, to you is, why do the voters like Newt Gingrich? They know all this stuff about him. And I'm wondering, we get a lot of email about this. People say they only care about the person who can fix our country, present tense. They don't give a rip about the other stuff.
Well, I think they like him because he's a good talker. I mean, he's saying all the right things, and he's saying it in the right tone. For example, folks love the fact that he goes head-to-head with the media, and he'll push back. And those of us who are out in viewer land watching, we like that. It feels good to us. We think it needs to be done. So I think there's an emotional connection that's being made. But time has shown us throughout this primary especially that those emotional connections fade as people start to do their real homework.
All right, very interesting discussion. Stick around, panel, if you will, because new numbers show which way the swing states now. Which way are they going? And what does it mean for the White House? Our panel back right after this.